oh kalau speaker lebih sederhana. Jadi gini mas, WOFA ini kan sistemnya memang melink antara speaker dengan platform. Nah, untuk koneksinya itu sebenarnya hampir sama dengan Zoom, Mas Aji izin. Ya, jadi nanti pada saat hari acara sebenarnya yang akan kita kirimkan itu adalah ini saja.
Sandra, assalamu alaikum. Muhammad Jassi here. How are you?
Good.
Are you able to hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Hello, sir. Hello.
Assalamu alaikum. Are you able to hear me?
Yes.
Fantastic. Just please hold for me. I'm just going to make some adjustments and then we can start, inshallah.
Okay.
Mereka bisa langsung menyampaikan paparan salah satu bagian. Lalu setelah sudah selesai, mereka memberikan link stage. Nah, sebenarnya itu Mas Haji. Yang kalau untuk para speaker mungkin adalah mereka harus sign up Mas Haji menggunakan email yang mereka pakai.
Well, I'm actually at Voice of the Cape and I'm about to do recording. Do you want me to speak to you after? Yeah. Can I speak to you afterwards? Because I'm just about to record and I need to prepare myself. Yeah, can I speak to you later? Because I need to focus here on what I'm doing and I'm speaking to someone in Indonesia. Can I speak to you after? Let's speak after. I'll speak to you after. I can't speak. I can, but can I concentrate here and then speak to you after the interview? Because you said you can't speak. You can't hear me anyway. Yeah. I'll speak to you after. Yeah.
All right.
Okay, cool. I don't need earphones. We're going to hear it. Right.
Yeah, you'll be able to. Just grab my phone.
How are you?
Alhamdulillah.
Are you busy doing 101 things?
Yes, at the same time. Right. Iskandar, can you hear me? Assalamu alaikum. Can you hear me? It's not responding.
Sorry, I can hear you, but not clear. It was clear.
Okay, I see the connection is jumping around a bit on your side. Are you on mobile data or Wi-Fi?
No, I'm on the Wi-Fi in internet.
Khair, khair. Okay, so you can hear me now. Iskandar, are you able to hear me now?
Wi-Fi. Yes, hello.
Okay, so you are able to hear me now.
It does say this on his computer. I don't know if you can
Hello,
zoom in.
me?
It's going to actually be better quality.
Iskandar, do
Can you
you
hear me?
have Google Chrome?
Hello, sir.
Do you have Google Chrome on your PC? Because if this is what's happening with StreamYard, Zoom is not going to be much better.
Well, we've done so many
Wait.
things on Zoom.
Because
And I've had problems with StreamYard before too.
because we're running 100 meg line here, so it should be quite stable. Iskandar,
Let
Do you want to type a message? Because it's obviously you can't hear you.
tell him. Okay.
I want to just write the message because it's obviously not hearing. I've never had a problem with his line before. What was your question? Do you have Google Chrome?
Yes. On his laptop. Has he responded?
Not yet. He's read it though. So I don't know if this helps you to. I don't know if you looked at the document
Yes, I believe.
and you understand the different ways that people can participate, different options.
Mhm. Yes.
It makes sense.
It does. From what I understand, you'll send samples to those people participating in the virtual expo as well, right? So samples of the products as well.
Yes.
Because
yes.
when you see taste, I was like, it was virtual. How do you taste?
Sorry.
It said taste in the item.
Yes. So the concept is that we're using Nairobi as the logistics point,
To
and then
distribute.
from there, like all the Indonesian products go there, all of the ones from Africa, and then they get distributed.
Okay.
Yeah. So my place will be a base where I will collect all of the samples from South Africa and also collect the things from Indonesia, and then people can come and see them, experience them.
Okay.
And now we're creating more relationships with people in Durban and Gauteng to also be able to link with businesses and people can see the products there. So this is a national, obviously, project.
Okay. So not just the Western Cape, because I was thinking that it would be concentrated here. So basically, you're sending it across the country. So there are a bunch of drop-off points across the country.
Yeah, look, it's all a new process.
Okay.
But we do want businesses from all over South Africa, of course. I'm the main representative, for sure. But now I've started speaking more to the Indonesian embassy in Pretoria. And then they've told me that I actually have a representative in Durban, which I've never known about before. And he's a businessman too.
Okay.
So then the concept basically is wherever you are, you can then receive a sample. And then when you're doing a meeting with someone, you are actually opening the packaging, tasting it, experiencing the product at the same time that you're having a meeting with the person who owns the product.
Lovely.
Yeah.
I like the concept. It still keeps that sense of engaging with the product, as opposed to just telling someone about something on the screen and not being able to physically see what it's all about.
Yes, and when Isnanda speaks about it, you'll understand. Like he explains it in a really nice way as well. You know that we're human beings with our five senses, and we can't actually do trade only virtually. We're sensory beings, so we need to touch it, we need to taste it, we need to see it and experience.
Oh, that's cool. I'm thinking, what
is he there?
Yeah, he is. He's online.
Okay. Should we test it?
Okay.
Okay.
Assalamu alaikum. Are you able to hear me? Salam, are you able to hear me?
Hello, yes. Hello.
Fantastic. That's much clearer. Much clearer. Walaikum salam. I don't know if I can say Jummah. Yeah, you can say Jummah Mubarak. I've already had Jummah that side, right?
I think you can say it the whole day, can't you?
You can, but I think because I know in the States I haven't experienced Friday yet. Yeah.
Oh, they are in the future.
Yeah, they are in the future. So, Iskander, first of all, shukran so much for joining us. I know we started a bit later than we intended to, but I'm very excited to be talking about this initiative. Obviously, I have Nusaiba here with me as well. Nusaiba, just try and keep the mic as close to you as possible.
What's that noise in the background? Oh, right. Do you want to maybe tell him to not do that when we're live then? Because that will come through, won't it?
Are you able to? We can actually hear you typing. When we start the interview, would you be able to maybe use the mouse? I think he's muting himself. I'm not sure. Iskander? Are you able to hear me? Okay, Assalamu alaikum. I see you've logged in on the on the laptop.
Laptop.
Okay, that seems to be much clearer on our side. Are you able to hear me clearly?
Hello. Yes. Sorry.
Okay, so
Sorry.
you are able to hear me. Fantastic.
Sorry for the voice. It was muted. Sorry. Say it again.
Okay, not a problem. So you can hear me.
Yes, I can hear you clearly.
Fantastic,
So
fantastic.
maybe you can turn his video off so that there's not so much lag.
Yeah,
Does
let's do
that
it.
use up?
Yeah,
more
that's
than
why
you
I've
do?
turned off ours. So I think you can actually switch your video off, so we'll have a much more stable connection, because obviously this is going to go out in the radio. Right.
Okay, great.
Okay. Okay.
Is it okay?
So, all right. So let me just grab my pack here.
Do I need to put this thingamajig before my?
No, not necessarily. Not in this case.
I don't know. Maybe
Not a problem.
I sent you some questions for me.
I have received.
But obviously,
Yeah.
you know, you probably have your own maybe questions that you think are relevant for.
Yes. Yes. Okay. So Iskander, you still able to hear me clearly?
Yes, I can hear you.
Khair. Okay, so I think we can jump straight into it. I'll introduce yourself, I'll introduce Nusayba, you'll greet, and then we'll proceed with the interview. I'm hoping to have at least about 20 minutes of the discussion. And yeah, I think we'll try and cover as much ground as we possibly can. So yeah.
Are you ready, Islanda? Can you hear us?
I can hear you. Bismillah.
Okay.
Bismillah.
Can you hear me?
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome to the Airwaves of the Voice of the Cape. If you just tuned in on 91.3 FM stereo, 89.8, 90.9, 95.8, as well as www.vocfm.co.za. My name is Mohammed Fasih Peterson, and for the next while, we're going to be talking about a very interesting initiative, groundbreaking initiative, bringing continents and countries and cultures together. We're going to be talking about the Hybrid Trade Expo, Hybrid Trade Expo or Showcase for 2021, an initiative that's come about because of the global pandemic, COVID-19, and it's a new way for businesses to reach out to one another across the divide, across the ocean, in a sense. I'm joined today by two representatives from this initiative, one here locally and one all the way in Indonesia. And of course, we're going to be speaking about this initiative. And you're welcome to WhatsApp us 0829913913 if you're looking to find out a little bit more about this initiative. But joining me on the line all the way from Indonesia, we have Iskandar, and in joining me in studio, we have Nina Lixa Bratso, also known as Nusayba Bratso. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, and welcome.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullah.
Now, before we get into anything else, I've seen little bits and bites of this expo being advertised on social media, and the first thing that came to mind was, during a time of COVID, expos are sort of like a non-starter because you don't want to get people together. And then I found out it's a hybrid expo, so it's a form of expo without that kind of physical contact. So what immediately that threw up in my mind is the idea of interaction and the importance of interaction when selling. But when we're going to be talking about expo in this context, we'll be talking about a virtual expo, which I'm very interested to find out about. But before we get into all of that, I said that we're crossing the divide. We're speaking to someone in Indonesia. So obviously, Indonesia is involved in this expo, and South Africa, the country where we are in. So let's just talk about that relationship for a moment. And I'll start with you, Iskandar.
Yes,
how did this initiative come about, and why South Africa and Indonesia?
Yeah, okay. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Yeah, we jump to the initiative. Because of the pandemic, so people cannot go for offline expo anymore because traveling is exclusive now. We cannot do traveling like we did in 2 years ago. We since last year, we see people try to find the balances on the situation, and most of them go to virtual expo. And I said, I am a salesman, export salesman, and I know to sell is not that easy. I mean, you have to test the product, you have to discuss, you have to change some of the packaging, you have to run in the machine or on the industrial product. So a lot of process. Okay, it's different if you talk about the export is about repeated order. Yes, repeated order you can do it by online, but when you want to introduce a new product, a new category, a new variety, you have to test it. So virtual will not cover that situation. So we come with the solution we are offering to business community. Why don't you go hybrid? A lot of people think that hybrid is if we run an expo for 200 people, so meaning let's say 50 people inside the room and the rest is outside the room, which is not equal. The person inside and the person outside the room for sure will have not the same experience. So what we mean by hybrid, we just send the sample first. We send the sample. So if we are now discussion online, if we do it by video, by Zoom or by Gmail or whatever it is, can you imagine if you have a Zoom with somebody, but before that you already send a sample to them? So during the Zoom, they can test the sample at their home, at their house, and you can guide them far away, but you can see how they use your sample. Let's say if you are selling coffee, you know how they unpack the packaging, whether they're by tier, by scissors. Then you can advise, oh, this is how you open my product. So this very, in terms of marketing, is a very expensive knowledge. So hybrid is very simple. Again, we just send it. So when we talk about expo, for sure, it will be, if we involve many participants in various industry in one moment, so it'll become an expo. Is that the concept? It's very easy. So now we are sending samples to Nairobi on the first move. We are expecting we can send samples also to South Africa, to Nigeria, to Dar es Salaam, to Ghana, from Indonesia, and vice versa. So this is the concept of expo.
You've answered quite a lot of the questions I was going to ask, but there's one question that I'm keen on, and that, of course, is Careem International, obviously being the organization that's organizing all of this. So who exactly is Careem International, and what is it that you're offering in terms of the organization of this expo?
Okay, Careem International is export aggregators. Export aggregators means we become marketing managers, export marketing managers for many vendors. I previously, before I established Careem International, is my company with friends, all the co-founders. I was export salesman, professional export salesman, working to a big company. Then Africa was my areas. In 2007, I opened the market to Africa for 7 countries, and the sales graphic, I can say one of achievement. On the first year, my sales around $1.4 million, and the third year 3.4, and the second year $7.9 million. And after I left the company, the company get a lot of achievement, got award. Indonesian government give award, the local government give award. And then it was 2007, 2018. Only by 2014, and then I have a lot of connection with Indonesian government by personal. Then they discussed with me how to enter African market, and I said, you cannot be only trading. You have to go along with Africa. Indonesia have a good relationship with Africa politically and philosophically, because on 1955, Indonesia inspiring Africa to get independence. In South Africa, Madiba Mandela came to Pak Harto first after he released from the apartheid. So we have very good relationship on the society, but not on the economy. So I said we have to go to Africa. build Africa together. But the situation is Indonesia have very good product, but less people on the sales. Indonesia, less people on the salesman. So we are producing, but we are not selling. That was the position in Indonesia. So that's why we see, and in corporate management, to hire to get a good export salesman is not cheap. The company have to pay the salary, and it's not cheap. So then, what in one discussion in 2015, then the forum asked me, Sandra, what is the solution? I said, we better establish a new industry and new services. The export salesman have to be a new profession, not only tied up to one company, but it will be a services. So this Careem International, we are the first Indonesia telling everybody that we are brokerage. If I can just say that word, we are brokerage, but professional one. So as marketing, we are not selling only. We are bridging the market. We are focusing on the product, and sometimes we help the investment. Then when the pandemic occurred last year, then of course our client, our society discussed to Careem again. What is the solution? Do you have any idea? And then I said, why don't we go in hybrid? I think when pandemic came, and now we can talk by Zoom, which is, to be honest, as export salesman, we already make a deal since last 15 years by phone only, before the video phone. So I said, if you now can do video phone very easily, you can do a lot of things. You can send the samples and then ask your prospective client to test the sample in front of you. So this is what in Careem thinking to boost the economy between these two nations.
Now, the other question that I wanted to ask you is just in terms of, because I've been browsing through your catalog and you have quite a wide range of products. It's not just food products, you service the clothing industry as well. Just give us a breakdown of some of the areas that you focus on in terms of your export.
We are focused in Africa. So we are focused more on the market. If you can see, we have a big variety in the product category. If you talk about that we want to sell, yes, there's a big variety, and the question how to handle it. But if you focus to people, focus to Africa, it's totally way different with everybody else approach. Let me give some example. Indonesia can produce a lot of crackers, like very good crackers. Let's say cassava crackers. Indonesia Indonesian have a lot of creativity to produce a food, crackers, fermented cassava, from the cassava. And then a lot of Indonesian young men come to Careem, said, Careem, can we export these crackers to Africa? And I said, no. Why? She says, no. But easily to export? Yes, easily, but I don't want to export crackers to Africa, cassava crackers. Why? Because Africa has a lot of, have more cassava farm compared to Indonesia. So why you want to sell cassava to Africa? But we make it crackers. Yes. So what is your suggestion in Careem? I said, please come to Africa and join together with Africa, the young Africa, and bring your capability to produce a cassava crackers and build the factory in Tanzania, build the factory in Lagos, build a factory in Nairobi. So it's different approach. Yes, we are sending samples, I think ton of samples, but our objective is not only Africans buy our products, but they found the similarities, they found the opportunity, and offering, everybody offering. Let's say they are finding a good, a good cassava crackers, and they can say how you can produce like this. And the Indonesian maybe will explain, this is how to produce a cassava crackers. You have to find this one, you have to put this one, you have to put this one. And then, but the Indonesian will say, I bet you, the Indonesian will say, I don't have the farm actually. So they purchase the cassava from the market, because Indonesian land ownership area per family only 0.8 acre. So how can you establish an industry with 0.8 supply? But in the other situation, an African can have 50 acre of cassava farm, but they're not producing into cassava crackers yet. So why don't these two middle and small medium enterprises join together and establish economy? And then there maybe we can sell to London, maybe they can sell to Moscow. So this is what we think in Karim, and guys, there's so many opportunities if we talk about that. We are not just focusing to sell Indonesian product to Africa, but we are encouraging the Indonesian to join together with Africa, establish a company, and then conquer the world. That is the vision. That's why we a lot of product. And if you can see in Karim, we even did not involve in so-called stable export from Indonesia to Africa. If you can see the sample, I'm not bringing the CPO, crude palm oil, because this is well-established Indonesian export to Africa. Why they need Karim? They already run well. We are not sending a sample of A4 paper. It's a lot of Americans and really stable. Why we need to boost? What we want to boost now is a new opportunity, and we know that African have the capability, the capacity. Indonesia have the capability and capacity. Gentlemen, ladies, so all the audience, please think about it. Is it a Coca-Cola business, isn't it? Coca-Cola send the what's called the main ingredient to our country, and then we just bottling it.
Now, Iskandar, the other aspect of this obviously is the local aspect. We've spoken about what it is that you're offering, and spoken about a little bit about the logistics around how this might take place. But I want to focus on the local aspect, and with that, I'm sitting with someone here who we are very familiar with, Nusaiba, and we know about her creative work. We know about her ties to Indonesia. So how did the two of you meet up, and how did you come in contact with her, and what is that relationship about?
For me or for Nusaiba? Sorry.
For you.
Okay, Nusaiba, I knew this. I never met Nusaiba, to be honest. I knew Nusaiba from our governor in West Sumatra governor. I came from West Sumatra province of Indonesia. Apparently, for this expo, we have audience with the governor, and he said, why don't the provincial government try to push the export also to Africa? Because West Sumatra is on the west side of Indonesia, directly to Indian Ocean. And during that conversation, and Pak Gubernur said to me, "Isn't that Africa? Yes, right? Yes, Pak. So we have South African students studied in Parang Panjang. Parang Panjang is one of the town in our province. Maybe you can talk to her and say hello." So actually, I called Nusaiba to say hello. And I have your number from governors, and then we discussed, and Nusaiba asked me what are you doing, and then I said we have this expo, and then we think we can do corporate. My point, this is the need between Indonesia and Africa, connecting people. You will never know what you get. I call Nusaiba because my appreciation to governor, they have that only in Africa. Can you imagine? Africa 1.3 million people, at 1.3 billion people, and they said, "Iskandar, one people came to our village because I'm the same village with governor. Can you say hello to her?" Okay, Pak. And I don't have any expectation. And tomorrow I say hello to Nusaiba. I'm not calling Nusaiba to say, "Hey, why don't you be our representative?" But this is the reality in life. In what Karim tell the industry, the businessman, Indonesian businessman, do not focus to your product only. Focus on people. So go to Africa, introduce yourself, listen to people, and you can find what you can do together.
I think that is one of the biggest lessons in business. Is it's about people more than about trade.
Product. Yes.
So if we can build that relationship across borders and across oceans, not only do you stand a greater chance of stimulating economies, but also you develop relationships that become mutually beneficial in other ways as well. So Niseba, I want to turn my attention to you now. And obviously you've experienced both Indonesian life and South African life. And so what in your view or perspective, is that perfect fit that you found between these two countries, and why you think it's so important for there to be more trade between Indonesia and South Africa?
Well, thanks for asking that question. Isnando has already covered so much that I would like to elaborate on. But even in regards to this, I think the communal way of living in the traditional sense is what we have in common in the traditional African ways and with Indonesia. Traditionally in Indonesia, even to this day, in each area called kampung, each little area, even within a city, you'll have a head, even a head of a street, a head of a little area. And this is like the go-to person. And I see how it works, how it functions. Another example would be in the arts. It's very collaborative in the way that you have a traditional type of orchestra and different community activities where people will learn the different styles of arts. And then also we have in business and in all aspects of life, communal eating, all of these things. We actually find this in the traditional ways of South Africa, even if we've become more modernized and we might have been more affected by globalization. The traditional ethos of Ubuntu is here. And if we can work also with other nations that have been colonized and they've worked through new ways of working, of how they can truly be independent and how they can tap into what their traditional way of working and functioning as a community and in business, then this provides new avenues and hope for how South Africans can redefine how we want to do business and the kind of people that we want to do business with. Because for me, ultimately, it's about people not forcing their customs or culture on the local populations. So that would be an example of Indonesia respects the traditional cultures in a place. It's not just about selling, it's about bridging the nations and actually celebrating and enhancing what the local traditions and the cultures are. So in this way, it makes more of a relationship of mutual respect and relationship building for longevity.
So more holistic approach than simply just getting the cold hard trade that we normally do and that we were after, but building those bridges in a sense, as I'm getting the sense you're saying. I'm also looking at the offerings that Karim International has put on the table here. What opportunities do you see in there for South Africa that you are excited to bring to South Africa?
There's so many. Like one, for example, would be the Instant Housing by Tata Lesari. It's just such a good product that can also be customized for the South African market.
Instant housing.
Yes, so your low-cost, cheap instant housing. It takes 5 days to build with 4 craftsmen. And, when I have had meetings with them, they're looking for like authorized resellers, factories, architects, people with furniture, local contractors and partners, because the opportunity is that we could actually start schools here to train and then they would have certification. So this would increase the employment in South Africa. And these are the best cheap housing I've ever seen. It's durable. It lasts 60 to 100 years. It lasts against rust and even obviously the earthquakes and the different types of extremes of weather that we find in Indonesia. And they're beautiful. They're not only,
functional.
they're not only quick to build, but they actually look really pleasant to live in, and they can be customized. So, for example, they can bring mural artists so that each one has its own soul and it has a cultural relevance.
I like that because I think in South Africa at the moment, one of the biggest problems is that we have a housing crisis. And the challenge is how do you build low cost housing for your middle to lower income group? And so I think this is a wonderful solution and a way that we can address that here in South Africa, where we have the challenge of not only a rising cost of building materials, but inflation as a whole, which kind of works against you. So I like the fact that what you're introducing is an entirely different concept and the rethink of that, which is fantastic.
Yes, and also I think we need to really look at the reality of why it's not working the way the current projects are working. Number one, they're not really built in a way where people truly have a sense of dignity and pride in their home. If you're not constructing it that really relate to the person that's waited so long for their house, but it doesn't have the design where they really feel like it's their home, then that's where we have people that end up renting it out or adding sections to it, or even just the fact that it actually deteriorates after only a few years. So we really need to change the model so that it actually works for people that really need this, and we need to uplift, improve people's lives in South Africa. So I see a lot of opportunities for developers, construction companies, and people that really believe in investing in the South African nature, really uplifting people's lives. And the prices are really competitive. And from what I see, I mean, it's tried and tested, so it works.
And also the other thing, we're moving towards a more greener world. So would you also say that this type of building leaves a less of a footprint, in a sense, ecological footprint?
Yeah, sure. I mean, look, if we keep having to rebuild things, then we're actually wasting resources. And another thing I'd like to actually mention is I spoke to even just a few days with a brother in South Africa, and he's doing renewable energy, so solar and things like this. And so there's a lot of opportunities for us to collaborate with other businesses in South Africa, across the continent of Africa, and as you say, make them more sustainable. We have all of the load shedding and the increase in expenses, which I'm sure many of our listeners have really felt in Cape Town, of electricity. So why not let's actually be really forward thinking about how we can actually improve our lives and actually in the long term reduce costs and be more sustainable in how we live, for sure.
So from what I'm getting, you're targeting businesses within South Africa who see an opportunity in being able to collaborate with Indonesian businesses and kind of getting and establishing bonds and links where you'll start to you see an enrichment of both sides in terms of the you've got something I need and I've got something that you need, so to speak. So with that being said, are you looking at sort of your SMMEs, or are you looking at more of your corporates, should I say your bigger businesses? Who are you targeting to become part of this, and to who are you wanting to expose this to?
Yeah, no, great question. Actually, I think it's everyone. It's across the whole board, because to make things happen, we actually all need to work together. So we have entry point kind of participation, which is only 350 Rand or 1,500, which is as a participant. And then we have right up until platinum, which is 30,000 Rand. So we have across the board of who would be participating. Some people might be a buyer, there might be an investor, and then other people have products. And then we have a range of different things that we need that would range from the different types of participation, which I can explain later about the costs and then how they'll be involved. But it could be, we're looking for distributors, importers, exporters, coffee shop owners, boutique fashion brand owners, farmers, developers, construction companies, product registration services, market survey services, logistic providers, and then all of your categories across the board. even handicrafts, so people that actually make their own different types of designs. I mean, we have so many traditional fabrics here which are unique to South Africa. So really anyone with a product, and it also can be obviously for if you're branching out and want to try new things, so people that are interested in buying and creating new collaborations for the first time. So it's really actually across the board, nationally, internationally, as well as your local businesses. You know, maybe you actually know you've got a great product. Maybe you're working from home, but you don't know how to branch out. This is the kind of platform where you can start building a business network so that you can actually start trading. And I think there's so many people that have great products, but it's kept within South Africa. And maybe we have some fear and anxiety, and we lack the self-confidence to really know that we actually have really great clothing, different products here that actually would be of great interest internationally.
It's interesting you mentioned that, because when we open businesses within South Africa, it seems like a dream to be able to finally export. But the challenge is, you know, there are so many hurdles in getting to that point. And I mean, if you are a small business, you never really think that I can go that big. And so what you're saying is here's an opportunity being offered to small businesses to exhibit and potentially access an international market, because Indonesia is only the first stop. Because certainly once you get into Asia, other opportunities open up for you as well, because Asia is a very big and wide continent in a sense. So in terms of, I'm seeing we've spoken about, you know, the fact that there are different prices ranges for people at different levels of engagement. Do you just want to go through the categories that you're offering for and what that comprises at every stage, every level?
And the first thing I want to address is that this is exactly why Careem International was established, and why they're doing this is within the platform they will be giving presentations and seminars about import-export, because as you say, we often have lots of questions and it's a new ground and there can be obviously challenges. So this is exactly where they come in to help you, advise you and connect you with the correct people. When it comes to the participants, so your entry point is 350 Rand, and that's just a written participant listing. Then the next one is particularly great if you've got products and a range of different services that you want to really elaborate on, because you have a virtual booth, images and videos, and it's more interactive. So that's the bronze, and that's 1,500. And then we have the three different types of presentation. Silver exhibitor is 7,000, and that would be like your small seminar room, like if you was at an expo, it'd be one of your breakaway rooms. And there will be 3 of those rooms when the expo is running. And then we have the main stage, which is the gold, and that's 15,000. And there you have an exclusive presentation that you'll be giving to your audience. And then we have the platinum, where there's nothing else going on. You really will be the only person giving a presentation, and that's 30,000 Rand. We do have a fashion show and a cultural element to it as well. So the presentations are 50 minutes. They will be recorded. And then obviously, because it's a 2-day exhibition, then the videos and the content can be viewed afterwards within the platform. So you can go back and review this seminar, this presentation, and gain the knowledge and the expertise that's given within those. Then there's also commercial ad breaks, and they're 4,000. So in between each presentation, there's ad breaks. So maybe you actually just would like to be able to submit your advert, because remember, this is actually also tapping into the rest of Africa too. We have over 13 other countries in Africa. Many of them have won awards for the work that Careem International has already been doing with them. There's also a Careem House in Mauritius. So if we actually engage more with Careem International, with the Indonesian market, with the rest of Africa, then we could have a Careem house here in Cape Town, and we can have the samples here, and we can actually create more economic ties between our nations, inshallah.
Inshallah. I mean, well, I think there's a lot for us to to take in, and I think quite an offering, a great opportunity for local businesses, and also an opportunity for Indonesian businesses as well. I think once again, just scanning through the glossary, or not the glossary, but scanning through the through your list of products, one of the things that comes up is that some of these things are not available in South Africa, and it's a great opportunity to introduce products that might also make your life easier, which is so cool. Iskandar, just in terms of from your point of view, you've heard Nusayba talk about the opportunities that could come out of this. And you've mentioned also why it is that you feel there needs to be more trade between these two countries. In terms of Careem International and the drive to stimulate Indonesia's export market a little bit more, would you also say that one of the things that you would be wanting to do is not only develop the trade exchange, but also that you would like to see sort of a cultural exchange? Because I think sometimes you can't divorce the cultural aspect from the trade aspect. Would you saying that apart from that trade exchange, it also would be a trade of culture, a trade of a sense of diversity in the kinds of interactions that one might have through the platform that you're providing?
Yeah, I believe in the trade, and international trade is again export is B2B, because in business there are B2B and B2C. In B2C you talk to communities, B2B you talk to between company to company. But my experience, export is not only B2B, but it's P2P, people to people. So people to people, peer to peer connectivity, and all technology only to supporting all this human interaction action. So there are a barrier or something like undisclosed about relationship Indonesia and Africa. What is the similarity? What like Nusayba just talk about that, and we believe that if you reveal these similarities, they can feel, oh, they are our brothers. We have the same in common. So this thing that we have to disclose, and Alhamdulillah, the Indonesian government also now open opportunity to many Africans to study in Indonesia, which is we have to do it many years ago, supposed to be. So how we for sure on 2 months, on 2 days or 6 months for a small company like us is a big job, okay? But we have to start it. So we will introduce the fashion show, like we talk about culture. The fashion show, I would like to show that you see whatever we have in Indonesia, actually we have similarity with you. In Jakarta, I bought a fabric from Lagos, the traditional Accra, and when I use in Jakarta, people think it's batik. It's because it is similarity. And then in the economic one, on the cultures, let's say on the cultures and society, Indonesia and East Africa, we are producing coffee bean, green bean, okay. And if you talk about normal international trade, these two countries seems very competitive. Indonesia selling coffee and Ethiopia and Kenya selling coffee. So why Careem try to introduce Indonesian coffee to Kenya? Funny, right? But we said we are not intention to compete with Kenya and Ethiopia on the green bean. Yes, on the green bean maybe we would say we are competing the price because it's commodity. But if you go to the coffee on the coffee shop need a variety of good green bean, roasted bean. So why don't you go together? And last 10 years in Indonesia, so many young men take a barista course, which is not happening in Africa yet. So I said to Indonesian, why don't you go to Africa, try to establish with your local partner a coffee shop over there. So these two developing countries can grow together with their own strength. Instead of these two developing countries competing with others, queuing to first world countries. and they're competing with others. So why don't they collaborate? So this is what we are thinking in Karim. So the first move, we have to make them feeling comfort. This is our brothers. They can see the similarity of the cultures, the way of things. Yes, we have differences. So that's what we're thinking in Islamic in Islamic teach. You have to go to hijrah. You have to mingle with another cultures. So that's what thinking. That is the deep philosophy of it. You have to go to hijrah. Hijrah means you move far away from your village. So that's what we are trying to push from Indonesian side, and then we try to go to Africa first.
So I think we fast running out of time, but I just want to get to the logistics once again. So this is going to be happening still in the month of September. Nusaiba, just give us the details around when and where on the World Wide Web this is happening. Will people be able to engage? Ordinary people be able to engage with this, and also just in terms of how people can go about contacting you, particularly businesses who want to exhibit with the various options that you've detailed.
Sure. So I'm going to give my WhatsApp and my email address after I explain this. So grab a pen and paper. It's the 7th and 8th of September, which is a Tuesday and a Wednesday. In South African time, it would be from 7 in the morning until 5. So it's an app platform that will be accessed. It will have an agenda of an event. It will have presentations. It will have options to arrange meetings for building networks, business pitching, developing business opportunities between the nations by all of these different features that have been custom made on the app. So the event will be those 2 days, but then you'll have access to that app for another 6 months. So this is where we can close deals and we can carry on the negotiations, have more batches of samples, because obviously the samples, remember, are not being sent individually. To make this cost effective and to make it logistically viable, it's about collaborating with Careem International. So there'll be different shipments of the samples, and the obviously the actual business networking and closing the deals takes time. So that's why the platform is open for another 6 months. So you create a virtual booth, and then there's an opening that will be on the Tuesday morning, which will have the cultural element. Like what you brought up, Fasik, that Indonesia is very passionate about heritage and traditional arts and culture. So the original reason for me to come on board was actually to do traditional Indonesian dance and showcase different traditional arts from South Africa and across Africa. So this is a part of the program and the vision of Careem International, as you say, highlighting the similarities and the traditions of South Africa. And, even particularly in the Cape, we have very strong ancestral links with Indonesia, and through this business relations we actually find the links of the food, the language, the lifestyle, obviously with our style of Islam. And when Islanda actually spoke about the hijrah, we have Indonesians that have come to South Africa. They've been so inspired by the ancestral lineage and the walis. We have, for example, one business that has registered. Her name is Anita, and she has created a textile to commemorate the legacy of Tuan Guru. So she met the family, she engaged with people in the Cape, and then she found an emblem from a shield, and she created a tapestry. So it's these kind of amazing things that people become so inspired by South Africa, and we can also become even more deeply inspired by Indonesia by finding out much, much more about the culture and the arts, that we could also do things to commemorate the history of Indonesia. So these are the kind of innovations and new opportunities that can come out from the collaboration. So if you'd like to find out more, you can send an email to careeminternationalsa@gmail.com. The WhatsApp number is 0820 719 414. There's also a YouTube channel, Careem International. There's Instagram, Careem_ International, and there's Facebook, and of course the website kareeminternational.com. So you can email me. I'm going to repeat my details again: kareeminternationalsa@gmail.com, and the phone number 0820 719 414. I can send the full information pack which will really break it down of how it will work and all the different types of participation. How you register is very, very simple and quick. It's just an online registration form. You click on the link and it's very quick to fill out, and then you can select which type of participation you would like. So you're welcome to get in contact, find more about it, so that you can join.
So that WhatsApp number again, because I think that's the one detail that will stick in people's minds, is 0820719414, and it's kareeminternationalsa@gmail.com if you'd like to email and register for this event. As we've mentioned, it's happening over a 2-day period from the 7th to the 8th of September, and of course it's going to be an international showcase, you can say, with products being showcased from a wide variety of sectors, and you're welcome to participate at any level, and I think it's a great opportunity for local businesses as well. Nusayba, Bratso, and as well as Iskandar, shukran so much for joining us on the show.
Shukran.
Inshallah. And perhaps next time we host this, we'll be face to face.
We are supposed to be.
Inshallah. Well, of course, once again, if you want to find out more, you can WhatsApp Kareem International, and you can also email them. The WhatsApp is 0820719414, and also you can email kareeminternationalsa@gmail.com. Takes place from the 7th to the 8th of September. Been a pleasure being in your company. Shukran so much for tuning in. I bid you wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. That was fantastic.
Thank you very much, Jos. Thank you very much for the. Nusayba, thank you very much. You are very convey the message to South Africa.
Well, we hope, don't we? We just try our best.
Try our best. Thank you very much. Really appreciate
it. No, I think again it's a very exciting concept, and there needs to be more trade of this kind. Africa, there's so many opportunities in Africa, and
so many.
I think that definitely the more investment we can get from outside, and the more opportunities people can get to exhibit to a broader market, the more we'll be able to get social change, which is really cool. My brother, I hope you had a fantastic Jumu'ah. I know that you in the future, so we are going to be shortly, inshallah. We haven't experienced Jumu'ah yet, and you have, so I hope you had a fantastic day. You're going to see it, and perhaps we'll chat soon again.
Thank you, Sabah.
Jazakallah khair, all the best, and assalamu alaikum warahmatullah.
Waalaikumsalam.
Waalaikumsalam. Terima kasih.
Terima kasih.
I hope that I didn't ramble.